They watched it start to fall, and they kept building anyway. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was already tilting before the third floor was finished, not after centuries, not from some later disaster, during construction, in 1173. That decision, to keep going on a tower that was visibly failing, became one of the most consequential accidents in architectural history. The tower was built as a freestanding bell tower for the Cathedral of Pisa. Construction began in August 1173. Within 5 years, before the builders had reached the third floor, the south side began to sink. The soil beneath Pisa is not uniform. On the north side, dense and stable. On the south side, a mixture of soft clay, fine sand, and shells. The sediment of an ancient coastal estuary. The foundation had been laid directly on this unstable ground. The moment the tower's weight exceeded what the soft soil could bear, it tilted. Construction stopped. Not because anyone had a plan, because a war broke out. That pause saved it. This is the first of 3 extraordinary accidents that kept the tower standing. During the nearly 100-year construction halt, the soft soil on the south side gradually compressed and consolidated under the weight of the incomplete structure. By the time builders returned in 1272, the ground had stabilized enough to continue. They built upward and made one crucial adjustment. Recognizing the lean, they deliberately built the upper floors slightly taller on the south side. The result was not a straight tower, it was a curved one. The attempt to fix the problem created something more interesting than a straight tower would have been. By the 20th century, the tower was leaning at approximately 5.5 degrees from vertical, nearly 5.5 meters off center at the top. Structural engineers calculated that without intervention, it would eventually reach a critical tipping point and collapse. In 1990, the Italian government closed the tower to the public and called in a team of international engineers. What they did next was audacious. They made it lean more, deliberately, carefully, by fractions of a millimeter at a time. The logic was counterintuitive but structurally sound. By attaching counterweights to the north side and using steel cables to apply controlled pressure, the engineers caused the north foundation to sink very slightly. Reducing the lean from 5.5 degrees to 3.97 degrees, they removed approximately 38 centimeters of tilt from the top of the tower, without touching the tower itself. The operation took 12 years. Here is what the tower actually reveals about medieval construction that most histories skip over. The builders of 1173 were not incompetent. They were building on ground that gave no visible warning of instability until the weight of the rising structure revealed it. Soil survey technology that could have detected the problem did not exist for another 7 centuries. What they did when the problem emerged, pause, assess, adapt, continue, was a correct engineering response given what they knew. The lean itself became structurally stabilizing over time. As the tower tilted, the soil on the compressed south side actually became denser and more load-bearing than the undisturbed north side. The foundation found an equilibrium that a straight tower built on this soil might never have achieved. The Leaning Tower of Pisa did not survive despite its lean. It survived because of it. 8.5 centuries, 2 wars, multiple earthquakes, a 12-year engineering intervention that made it lean further before correcting it. The tower is still standing, and it is still leaning, at exactly the angle the engineers decided was the safest point between too straight to be interesting and too tilted to be safe. That angle was chosen by a committee of engineers in the 1990s. The most visited tower in Italy leans at a degree determined not by geology or gravity, but by a vote, Codex Obscura, the story behind the story.